Happy Thursday. I have not posted in a couple weeks because I suck. I'm flying out tomorrow to Houston for the Houston Book Rave, so if I'll see you there, then yay. If not, well, then maybe next time. If you have been around Facebook in the last day or two, you've seen that we're bringing horror back to the Grimm's fairy tales, yay! And obviously, more than a couple of my videos are about fairy tales, so I'm interested in this. I mean, once upon a time, like I was talking about on Twitter, if I had ever actually gone and got my master's in history, it would have been I would have written my thesis on the evolution of fairy tales because it's fascinating and, well, for one, obviously, but also throughout history, you can kind of see how the fairy tales change to adapt to the ideals and values of the society that's telling them, which is true all the way up into present day. Which is interesting because now it's been the Disney versions. Well, I say Disney, not necessarily Disney. I mean, they've been in books and whatever as well. Like the super clean, everything's happy and it's great, and the villains just sort of fall to their death or whatever. Have been super popular because it's like, think of the children. Like, oh my god, we are not going to tell little Susie Q about the fact that, Cinderella's sisters cut off their toes and heel to try to fit them into that stupid slipper. Or that Snow White was too stupid to live, and she really was. But, so the fact that now, I mean, we'll see, what happens with this, but the fact that they're like, yay, horror, no more happily ever after, is interesting, and it says some really interesting things about our society that, down with happily ever after. Because generally, we're kind of escapists. We read and tell these stories for escapism, but now, if this takes off, that remains to be seen, of course. I personally think people are still going to be very much escapism readers just because that's kind of the gig. But it seems that they're going to take on more of their cautionary elements that they didn't necessarily have in the last couple decades because it was too much, sparkles and glitter and sunshine. Whereas, back in the Grimm's original versions, they were very much instructionary tales like, don't go into the freaking dark woods at night. A witch is going to eat you. Or, probably not a witch. It might be a freaking something else, or you lay down and go to sleep and never wake up again. But the principles of, beware of the woods at night, or don't talk to strangers because that stranger might murder you. That kind of stuff has sort of been played down, and now it seems like if this takes off, it'll be sort of played back up again, which is interesting. It says a lot. So I'm curious. I'm very curious on how it's going to go. I mean, personally, obviously, I've always read the original Grimm fairy tales, and my kids know most of them. Although they are a little bit horror struck at some of the elements of it. Like, what? What? Beauty's dad just straight, pretty much sold her into servitude? Oh god. So, that's that. If I'm gonna see you this weekend, hi. If not, I'm aiming to actually get back on the horse with the videos. And I will see you next week.